Chapter 1. Mind the Olivier Salad. Our first story takes us to a place called Voronezh, a city known for its vibrant culture and lively celebrations. On this particular New Year's Eve, the city was buzzing with excitement, and everyone was ready to welcome the new year with open arms. But for one group of partygoers, the night took a dark and unexpected turn. Picture this: you're dressed up in your finest attire, ready to celebrate the end of the year with friends and family. The table is laden with traditional Russian dishes, including the beloved Olivier salad, a staple at any New Year's celebration. The atmosphere is filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses as everyone toasts to the new year. But for one man, the night was about to take a turn for the worse. He had met a woman online, and they decided to meet in person at this very party. What started as a hopeful encounter quickly spiraled into a nightmare. We don't know the details of their online conversations, but something must have gone terribly wrong. Their meeting, which was supposed to be a joyous occasion, ended in a heated argument. The tension between them was palpable, and it was clear that things were not going as planned. The man, perhaps a bit too intoxicated from the night's festivities, accidentally knocked over a bowl of Olivier salad. This classic Russian dish, made with potatoes, carrots, peas, and mayonnaise, is a symbol of celebration and togetherness. An honest mistake, right? Just a bit of spilled food, nothing to get upset about. But for the woman, this was the final straw. She went ballistic, her anger boiling over in a way that no one could have anticipated. The party atmosphere quickly shifted from festive to tense as she began to yell and scream. In a fit of rage, she grabbed a knife from the table and, in a shocking turn of events, stabbed the man. Right there, in the middle of the party, surrounded by stunned onlookers, a celebration turned into a crime scene. 1 minute, everyone was celebrating the arrival of the new year, and the next, chaos erupted. The man was left fighting for his life, and the partygoers were left in shock, unable to comprehend how a night of joy had turned so violent. This incident serves as a stark reminder that things aren't always what they seem. Even in moments of happiness and celebration, underlying tensions can surface, leading to unexpected and tragic outcomes. The police arrived, and the once joyous party was now a scene of investigation and sorrow. Stick with me, because as unbelievable as this story is, things are about to get even crazier. The night is far from over, and the twists and turns are just beginning. Chapter 2. A Family Affair. This one takes us to the Saratov region, a place where the cold winter mirrors the chilling events that unfold. Here, family ties are put to the ultimate test, revealing the dark underbelly of human emotions. It's a story about betrayal, violence, and a troubled past, the kind of past that haunts you no matter how far you try to run from it. The kind of betrayal that cuts deeper than any knife. Meet Sergei, a 31-year-old ex-con trying to turn his life around. After spending years behind bars, he's determined to make amends and start anew. But the shadows of his past loom large, and redemption is never easy. He's invited to spend New Year's Eve with his brother and friends, a chance for a new beginning. The air is filled with hope and the promise of a fresh start. Laughter and joy fill the room as they celebrate the end of one year and the beginning of another. But as the clock strikes midnight, the atmosphere begins to change. The festive mood gives way to something darker, more sinister. The weight of unresolved issues starts to press down on everyone. Vodka flows freely, and as the night progresses, inhibitions lower. People get loose and old grudges long buried begin to resurface. The alcohol acts as a catalyst, bringing hidden tensions to the forefront. As the party winds down, Sergei's brother and friends pass out, leaving him alone with his thoughts and simmering resentment. The silence of the night amplifies his inner turmoil, and the weight of his past mistakes feels unbearable. Fueled by alcohol and anger, Sergei snaps. The years of pent-up frustration and unresolved anger come crashing down, and he loses control. His mind is clouded, and his heart is filled with rage. In a fit of blind fury, he grabs a knife from the kitchen table. The cold steel in his hand feels like an extension of his anger. He attacks his own brother, stabbing him multiple times, each thrust fueled by years of pain and betrayal. The next morning, as the alcohol wears off and reality sets in, everyone wakes up to a scene of horror. The room is in disarray, stained with blood, and the gravity of what has happened begins to sink in. Sergei, still reeling from the night's events and the lingering effects of alcohol, is arrested by the police. The flashing lights of the police car illuminate the grim reality of his actions. His attempt at a new beginning has ended in tragedy, and the consequences of his actions will haunt him forever. Chapter 3. Battle of Drunken Wits. This chapter delves into the dark side of holiday celebrations where joy turns into horror, and family gatherings become battlegrounds. This one's a double dose of holiday horror. Two separate incidents, both fueled by alcohol and family drama, both ending in tragedy. The holidays, a time meant for joy and togetherness, sometimes bring out the worst in people, especially when alcohol is involved. First, we're in Marino near Moscow, where a New Year's Eve dinner turns deadly. The festive atmosphere of the neighborhood contrasts sharply with the dark events that unfold within one household. A father and son, already not getting along, are sitting at the dinner table, their past issues hanging in the air. The tension is palpable, and it doesn't take long for the situation to escalate. As they drink more, their argument gets out of control. What starts as a verbal spat quickly spirals into a full-blown confrontation, fueled by the alcohol coursing through their veins. Words become threats, and soon, both are holding knives, their anger exploding into violence. The room, once filled with the sounds of celebration, now echoes with shouts and the clashing of metal. The son is fatally wounded, his life cut short. The joyous occasion has turned into a nightmare, leaving a family shattered and a community in shock. The father, covered in his son's blood, is rushed to the hospital, left to face the consequences of his actions. The weight of his deed hangs heavy, a grim reminder of how quickly things can go wrong. As if that wasn't shocking enough, a similar event happened in the Saratov region. In a quiet village, another family gathering takes a dark turn, proving that such tragedies are not isolated incidents. A 16-year-old boy, in a moment of unbelievable violence, grabs a samurai sword and kills his father. The sheer brutality of the act leaves everyone stunned, a stark reminder of the potential for violence lurking beneath the surface of family conflicts. Both incidents serve as grim reminders of the dangers of mixing alcohol with unresolved family issues. They highlight the thin line between festivity and tragedy, and the devastating consequences that can arise when that line is crossed. In the aftermath, communities are left to pick up the pieces, mourning the loss of loved ones, and grappling with the senselessness of the violence. These stories, though harrowing, underscore the importance of addressing underlying issues before they erupt into tragedy. Chapter 4. The House Guest. Our last story takes us to Vladivostok, a city in far eastern Russia. It's a story about betrayal, greed, and cold-blooded murder. Meet Victor, a man who decided to help a friend in need. We've all been there, right? A friend needs a place to stay, you offer your couch, it's the right thing to do. But for Victor, this act of kindness turned deadly. The friend was down on his luck, facing money problems, and needed a place to stay. Victor, being a good friend, welcomed him into his home, not knowing the danger that lurked beneath the surface. One night, after a drunken argument about money, Victor's world was shattered. His so-called friend, driven by greed and alcohol, snapped and brutally murdered him. So there you have it, 4 of the most bizarre and disturbing crimes that happened in Russia over the New Year's holidays. It reminds us that even during celebrations, bad things can happen. These stories show us the complexities of human nature, the unpredictable nature of violence, and how fragile life can be. If you found these stories as shocking as we did, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more content exploring the dark side of humanity. Until next time, stay safe out there, and be careful who you invite into your homes and your lives. Thanks for watching. This first story is like seriously messed up. You won't believe what happened. Okay, so picture this. It's New Year's Eve, 2014. Everyone's celebrating, right? You're probably thinking about like kissing someone at midnight, right? Or maybe just enjoying the fireworks. Well, this dude, Christian Gomez, he had something else on his mind, something way darker. This guy, he was 23 at the time, and apparently his mom, Maria, had been like nagging him. You know how family tensions can be, especially during the holidays. You know how moms can be, always asking you to do stuff at the worst times. She wanted him to move some boxes, but he was probably like, "Ugh, Mom, it's New Year's Eve. Can't this wait?" But here's where it gets really messed up. This isn't your typical family argument. Instead of just like ignoring his mom or whatever, Christian totally snapped. He lost it completely. He grabbed an axe, you guys, and it's almost too horrifying to say. I can't even believe I'm saying this. He cut off his own mother's head. Can you imagine? It's beyond comprehension. Like, what kind of mind even goes there? What kind of person does that to their own mother? It's just like, beyond disturbing. The whole scene was like something out of a nightmare. He was arrested and charged with murder, obviously. The police were in shock too, but still, that's some seriously dark stuff. It's the kind of story that sticks with you, you know? It's about a New Year's Eve celebration in Shanghai, back in 2015. The city was lit up and the atmosphere was electric. Everyone was in high spirits, ready to welcome the new year with joy and excitement. They were having this big light show and like tons of people showed up. I'm talking thousands. The streets were packed and you could feel the energy in the air. It was supposed to be a night to remember. Everyone was so excited to ring in the new year, but then it happened. The crowd started to swell and people began to push forward, eager to get a better view of the light show. People just kept pushing and pushing, and it turned into this massive stampede. The situation quickly spiraled out of control, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop it. Can you imagine being stuck in that? The fear, the panic, the feeling of being completely helpless. It's a nightmare scenario, like there's nowhere to go. People are screaming and pushing. It's total chaos. You can't move, you can't breathe, and all you can think about is trying to survive. It's like something out of a horror movie, the kind of thing you see on the news and think, that could never happen to me. But for these people, it was all too real. By the time it was over, 36 people were dead. 36! It's hard to even wrap your mind around that number. So many lives lost in such a short amount of time. And another 49 were injured. The aftermath was devastating, with families torn apart and a city left in shock. It turned out that the event was totally mismanaged. There were too many people and not enough measures in place to ensure everyone's safety. They didn't have enough security and they weren't prepared for that many people. It was a recipe for disaster, and unfortunately that's exactly what happened. It's just like a reminder that even in the middle of a celebration, things can go wrong, and it's important to be aware of your surroundings. Always stay alert and know where the exits are, because you never know when you might need to get out quickly. So, New Year's Eve parties are supposed to be fun, right? A time to celebrate, to let loose, and to welcome the new year with joy and excitement. Well, not this one. This happened in Daytona Beach back in 2016, a place known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant nightlife. There was a party going on, people were dancing, having a good time, you know the vibe. Music was blasting, laughter filled the air, and everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. But then, out of nowhere, this guy, Robert Mazzaro, starts stabbing people. Can you imagine? One moment you're dancing, and the next, chaos erupts. You're just trying to have a good time, and then, bam, some dude is attacking people with a knife. It's like a scene from a horror movie, but it's real life. It turned out that Robert was trying to push through the crowd, but he had a pocket knife in his hand. Maybe he felt threatened or was just trying to make his way through. I don't know why. Maybe he was scared or something, or maybe he just lost control in the heat of the moment, but he ended up stabbing 3 people, including his own fiancée. What? Can you even imagine the horror and confusion? He was arrested for aggravated battery, but still, that's terrifying. The whole incident left everyone in shock and disbelief. It makes you wonder, who can you even trust at a party? In a place where you're supposed to feel safe and happy, such an event can change everything. This guy, he was 46 years old, and he was super excited to watch some fireworks with his family. They went to this big display, and everything was going great. But then, out of nowhere, tragedy struck. We don't know exactly what happened, but somehow, the guy was fatally injured during the fireworks show. Can you imagine? One minute you're watching fireworks, and the next minute, someone is dead? It's just heartbreaking. The police arrived, but it was too late. He was already gone. It's a reminder that even the most beautiful things can be dangerous, and life is precious. This couple, they were at home on New Year's Eve, probably watching movies or something. But then, they heard a noise outside. They looked out the window, and guess what they saw? A naked man. And not just any naked man, this guy was wearing a Ronald Reagan mask and a sock. What? Who does that, and why? It's just creepy and confusing. The couple called the police, but the naked Reagan man ran away before they got there. They never found him. It's just one of those mysteries, I guess. But still, can you imagine seeing that? I'd be traumatized. Okay, this next story is seriously messed up. It happened in Texas in 2016. There was this big New Year's Eve party going on at this guy's house. It was supposed to be this fancy exclusive thing, but it turned deadly. See, one of the guests, he wouldn't leave when the party was over. I don't know if he was too drunk or what, but he just refused to go. And the homeowner, he totally snapped. He grabbed a gun and shot the guest dead. Can you believe that? Over a party? The homeowner claimed he was acting in self-defense, but still, it's just a tragic situation. It's a reminder that things can escalate quickly, and sometimes, it's best to just walk away.